day is finally here. Tenet is out in theaters. I've been wanting to talk about this review for a while. I've been so excited about this film. I've been waiting months to see it. I don't even know what to say about it. I'm so excited. We're finally picking back up. Tenet is directed by my favorite director in the world, Christopher Nolan. It stars John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki, Kenneth Branagh, and it's a Warner Brothers film. So this is going to be a spoiler-free review. I'm just going to give you some of my general thoughts on it and my recommendation. I plan on doing a spoiler discussion video next. That will be my next video. But this video is going to be very tight. It's just going to kind of give my thoughts on it and my recommendation if you should see it in theaters or not. Everything about it was large. It's just the camera work was some of the best camera work I've seen in a while. The scale of everything was massive. The stunts were crazy. The reversing of time and everything going backwards looked so good. The camera work was great. The cinematography was great. And my God, the score was absolutely breathtaking and amazing. So those are some serious compliments I have for it. The amount of work that went into this is just freaking insane. So the plot of this film is about a protagonist who is fighting for the survival of the entire world. He journeys through a twilight world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time. It's just crazy how excited I was to see this film, and I'm actually just very thankful I've gotten to see it. The trailer is pretty on point. Everything you see in the trailer is actually in the film. There's a couple sentences that aren't in it that didn't make the cut or they didn't put in the film, but they're there. All the big action set pieces you saw that are in the trailer, they're in the film. But the film is very hard to understand, and I can promise you that you are not going to understand the entire thing seeing at one time. This is going to take multiple viewings to fully understand the complexity of the film. For me personally, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very exciting and thrilling and original and unique. And in that, I have to give it originality, and we don't get a lot of original scripts out there, so I'm going to give it some props there, but the movie does have its issues that I will explain very lightly. Like, for instance, the movie starts off in this opera house, and this team runs into the opera house, knocking everyone out with gas that they put through the ventilation system. And I just thought that for the size of this room they're in, they get knocked out way too quickly. And another problem I had with the film was there were no stakes on the line. The protagonist, which is played by, I call him Denzel Washington's son, he just knew what to do all the time. There was no room for him to make errors. He was too smart, too witty, and it kind of just drew me out a little bit because he was so perfect. And there's a scene where he's like fighting a couple guys in a kitchen, and this is in the trailer. Like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything. I was pretty careful with this review. When he's in this kitchen, he just beats the crap out of these guys. Single-handedly, too. If it's 4 against 1 in a small, contained little area, and you're going to beat the crap out of him. I know you have a lot of training and fighting and stuff, but it just kind of drew me out because it just showed he didn't get punched in the face or get hit at all. This guy is just pretty much like unstoppable from every angle possible. And the problem I have with that is it hurts the movie later on, because this movie has a lot of big stunts, a lot of big action set pieces. There's a lot of awesome fights that were choreographed very well. You know, when you have a character that is unstoppable on all ways, the stunts and fights and car chases don't really matter on an emotional level or even a narrative level because he's so perfect. It takes all the suspense out for me. It takes out all the interest because I'm like, well, he's going to get there anyways, so who cares how they do it? He could never become better at anything because he was already perfect at everything. So you know the mission's going to go smoothly, so there's literally no suspense to it. And it pains me to say this, but Tenet tries so hard to be complicated and convoluted to show how smart it is. My second biggest gripe with this film is it's so complex and complicated. There's so many layers of everything that I got mentally exhausted. Like, I cannot believe I'm saying this. It's like a movie, right? It's like, how do you get exhausted? But the story is so confusing and fast-paced. There's no time to breathe. There's no time to like lose focus. If you even lose focus for 20 seconds, you'll get so lost about what you missed that they said or what's going on. you're kind of screwed. It requires your full attention. I literally got mentally exhausted and tired, and I gave up by the third act. I've seen the movie twice now to help me understand it so I can do my spoiler review, which will be my next video. But to fully grasp it, the first viewing I saw, I only understood like 45% of it. It wasn't until my second viewing that I understood about, I'd say 75 to 80. Because it's like, this, okay, we're going to go back in time. Now we're going to go forward in time. It's like, wait, okay, one thing at a time. So this and this, okay, got it. And then they're like, no, now we got this. And then they threw another thing in your face. I clocked out at the third act. And this was the first time I saw it. And I was excited about this movie too. And on top of that, it doesn't help that the characters talk really fast. Like, there's no time to breathe, and I think it's possible that this was part of the 40 minutes he had to cut up, because I know the first cut of this was announced at 3 hours and 15 minutes. I think that's where all the small pauses were. I think all the slowing down and explaining things a little more thoroughly so you could understand what they were talking about. I think all those little pieces were cut out to hit that runtime that Warner Brothers wanted him to hit. I know 45 minutes was sliced out of this film, and that sucks because those pauses would have really helped, because the characters literally talk really fast. They engage back and forth. He'd be like, you want a soda? Yeah, I want a soda. So time inversion, this is how it works. He's like, time inversion isn't inversion. Inversion is time. And he's like, what? Okay. Well, that doesn't make any sense. He's like, this is how it makes sense. You got to get the core, and you got to go back in time through the core, and then you got to figure it out. And then when you go back that and you figure it out, you have to wear the mask. I'm not exaggerating what I'm doing. The cuts were that fast. When one character was done speaking, the other one was immediately talking after the other. But I'm going to tell you my biggest gripe before I go. The sound. I don't know what Christopher Nolan was doing, and it upsets me because I know he doesn't like ADR, and if you don't know what that is, it's when they re-record lines in a studio booth and have the headphones on. Christopher Nolan is so obsessed with getting everything on camera. The props have to be real, the stunts have to be real, everything has to be natural and on camera. But I really think they had a serious problem with their sound mixer here. Oh, the sound was horrid. There were so many times, I can't even tell you how many times, a character was talking and there was a sound of water that was so loud you could barely hear what they were saying. You had to really what did he say? There were so many words I missed because of the sound overlapping the dialogue. I probably missed 25% of what they were saying throughout the film, and that's a lot. But the story's so complex, it bothers me that he didn't notice this, because you need to hear that dialogue. And you can't, because everything's so loud in the background. And I've seen other reviews. Other people had the same problem. I personally thought it was my theater. I thought, damn, they had the bass up way too loud, because it was a loud-ass movie. After I saw it the second time, it was the same problem, and I saw other reviews complaining about the same thing, so I knew it wasn't just me. The explosions, the gunfire. I don't know what the problem was. I don't know if Christopher Nolan thought maybe people were going to get bored, or maybe he wanted to intensify things, but there were these very sharp noises. One of the bad guys in the beginning of the movie steps on a violin, and the strings are like... It's just overly loud. And when gunfire would fly by, it'd be like... and the water would be like... Like, I was like, damn, why are these sharp sounds of the water so loud? Holy crap! And I don't know what was going on with that. I really don't have an answer for you. But if you do have an answer for me, please leave the answer in the comments. I did like this movie. I thought it was good, but it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, which is very disappointing because I love Christopher Nolan. I have a freaking magazine on my wall of the guy. I think he's a visionary. He's a smart guy. He comes up with original ideas. He gives us stories we've never seen before. He gave us this world, which has never been done before. And it's good to see something new. It's very refreshing. I'm not going to say it's a bad film because, as I said before, it's an original idea. I have to give it credit there. I have to give it credit for its natural stunts and the reversing of time and stuff. The way things went backwards in the movie, I've never seen that before. It looks awesome. It truly does. Would I recommend seeing this in theaters? Yes, but be prepared for it to be loud and be prepared to not understand a good 20% of the dialogue. I don't recommend seeing this in IMAX. I saw this in just a regular theater and it was still loud as shit. I can't imagine how loud it was in IMAX or how loud it is in IMAX. And I know everyone's like, okay, I've heard enough. What's your grade? I've been thinking about that for hours. I have not known what to do because when I saw it the first time, my grade was up higher, and then when I saw it the second time, my grade went down, and I was like, no! I've liked all of his movies since Batman Begins. Like, the only movie he's made that I don't like is Insomnia. But I have to be an honest reviewer. I cannot just be biased and be like, well, it's Christopher Nolan, he doesn't make bad movies. Even Spielberg and Scorsese have made bad movies. This is one of Nolan's, like, mediocre films. So, it saddens me to say this, but I'm going to grade Tenet a C+. And you might be thinking, well, would you grade it when you first saw it? Well, it was at a B, and then I saw the mistakes, and the sound mixing really bothered me, and the story is very convoluted and complicated. It was overly complicated, and I'll explain more of that in the spoilers, but it started off at a B. I think there's going to be a lot of people that do and don't like this. It is a good movie, and I recommend seeing it at least once, and it is a theater-worthy movie because of the scale and the camera work and the crazy stunts that they did. But if we're talking a pure entertainment level, I think people are going to get really annoyed, exhausted, and bored very fast. If they have no idea what's going on, they're going to be like, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just shut this off. Nolan, you're my favorite director. You always will be. But I beg you, man, please get away from time. Do a horror movie. Do a bank heist. Do something that has no relation to time or the future or the past. Just do a grounded, raw movie. Well, thank you guys for tuning in for this review. I've been wanting to do this review for a while. I have my spoiler review coming up right now that I'm currently editing. So hit that notification bell so you can see when that video is posted because it will be very soon. And I'm going to catch you guys on that discussion. Thanks for watching.